Hey everybody, this is Corey for Corey's updates. I got an updated video here for the last video that I just released. Basically, there's a bipartisan group of legislators that are working on a $908 billion bill. I just saw that there was an update that it says here at 11:11 a.m. Currently, it's 11:50 my time. That they've released information about this new relief plan, and I'd like to just basically go over this with you. The question on the top of the title of this Newsweek article is, will there be another stimulus check? That's a great information or great question to ask. And based on this new bill, in short, it's not included in this, unfortunately. So I would like to talk more about that, but let's go ahead and walk through this really quickly, just for a quick update. It says Congress has only weeks to pass another relief package before the end of the year, and a new proposal from a group of bipartisan lawmakers would bring relief to people, but not in the form of direct payments, you see. They're not including those checks, unfortunately, there. So on Tuesday, today, Democratic and Republican senators and representatives, as well as their independent Senator Angus King, announced a plan for another round of relief. Their $908 billion package includes state and local aid, expanded unemployment insurance, support for small businesses, and help for those with student loans. So a lot of places that would receive relief would definitely benefit from this, that are included there, but not those stimulus checks. So everything that's going to come to a halt in December because of the timing is not going to happen. Senator Joe Manchin said, "We intend to move this forward after months of failure to act. We know what's necessary now in a timely fashion." So they seem to know where it's most important to inject this money. They've got targeted efforts within this bill to provide relief. Unfortunately, just my own opinion here is that stimulus checks would have been well received by the entire American people and economy. It just makes sense to me. So it says the plan combines measures that Republicans and Democrats want and focuses on items that are due to run out at the end of the month. It says, however, this plan does not include another round of stimulus checks. Darn. So this stimulus checks issued earlier this year cost about $290 billion. That's important to remember here in just a second. So, and some economists, urged Congress to pass a measure that would send out reoccurring direct payments until the economy, they're basically saying, let's go the Yang approach and get, money out monthly while there's issues because people are out of work. People aren't unable to work. There's currently no vaccine as of this video. So, I know there's some vaccines that are going through emergency use authorization, but even with then, we're not going to receive as the whole of the American people, we're not going to receive this vaccine until mid next year, maybe, possibly, right? Those vaccines are going to go to elderly and those most at risk, those first responders, people that will be more likely to be exposed. It says both parties are pushing for more relief, but remain divided on what the package should look like and the price tag that should come along with it. Democrats are eyeing a larger proposal of $2 trillion range, an amount that some Republicans who support a $5 billion package consider far too high, and object to some provisions included. So let's move on here. The next part of this is very interesting. Here. So Senator Mitt Romney called himself a deficit hawk on Tuesday, and it appeared to ease the minds of his colleagues by saying that, this is important, that $560 billion of the bipartisan proposal price tag was repurposed from the CARES Act that passed in March. So there's a big chunk of this bill that's being paid for already with money that was spent, basically. $560 billion would be coming from the CARES Act. And so that means that $348 billion would be new funding. So really they're only needing to provide an additional $348 billion. The other is repurposed from the previous already spent money that was from the previous CARES Act. That's important to think about. Think about it this way. the current price tag on this is $908 billion. You remove $560 billion. That makes $348 billion that we're only having new funding for. If they were to provide the $290 billion that it may cost to fund additional stimulus checks, really, at its core, this new bill, even with stimulus, would not break $1 trillion. If you were to have this put into play, it would be likely to make people happy here. But one thing to think about here, also, they make a good note, is the Problem Solvers Caucus. They presented a similar bill, bipartisan, back in September, and we haven't heard really anything about it. Why are senators now going back and looking at another avenue? That would basically be the same thing. But let's take a look at this. Bipartisan legislation may seem to be a hopeful sign that an agreement is possible, but it's not the first time that legislators tried to bridge this divide. The Problem Solvers Caucus, a group of 50 Democratic and Republican representatives, released a framework for a relief package in September. It cost $1.5 trillion. Now think of that. If we had this Problem Solvers Caucus bill with a price tag of $1.5 trillion, and we applied the $560 billion here that is going back from the previous CARES Act, again, that would not break $1 trillion. That would be a great move, a great idea, and something that should be considered and brought up within our government to vote on. Absolutely. So that would be absolutely interesting. Also, one thing to consider, this Problem Solvers Caucus bill does include a second stimulus check. Not only a second stimulus check, it actually includes circuit breakers for a third stimulus check. It would provide a second stimulus check, and if things are still bad within 2021, it would provide a second stimulus check to the American people from that bill. Now that's a great idea. But this is where we are today. We have a $908 billion bill that would actually only cost about $348 billion that's being considered. I'm interested to see how this evolves. I'll provide you updates as it comes. I'm hoping that they add on or they bring in another bill with stimulus checks included. I know the American people want that. I know that a lot of people are struggling out there, but I'm interested. This is a very good topic to be interested in. So I really appreciate you all listening in. I appreciate you all watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Show your support to this channel. Help me grow. Help me build this up so that I can provide more information out to you. I will provide you updates as I receive it. Thank you so much for listening.